In this video, I'm going to summarize the quest lore in the Maw. A lot of people felt the need to get to level 60 as fast as possible, and because of that, they didn't read the quests. So for those that skipped over the quest lore, but now want to know all about it, and you really don't want to go back and read through everything, then this video begins the summarization of the quest lore in Shadowlands. Having said that, let's jump into the Maw and find out what's going on in World of Warcraft. Before we get started, if this is your first time here, welcome to the party. As mentioned before, this channel is dedicated to summarizing the quest lore that so many people skipped over while playing World of Warcraft. So if you're looking for a deep lore channel, this isn't it. Yes, I understand that there are people who genuinely don't care about the quest text, and that's fine. But there are people out there that do wonder, what did I not read when I was leveling to 60? We're gonna focus on summarizing every single quest that has something to do with this symbol right here. So if this sounds like your kind of thing, then make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the bell icon so that you'll be notified when I drop a new episode. Okay, let's jump into the Maw. We're going to be doing this from the Horde perspective, and from here on out, we're going to be doing each episode according to which chapter we're on in the game. So you start off in Orgrimmar, and receive a message from Darien Mograine, stating that High Lord Bolvar Fordragon requests your presence at the top of Icecrown Citadel in Northrend, and Darien will take you there. But before that, Nazgrim needs to tell you about what happened to your leaders. In short, Sylvanas ends up capturing leaders from both the Horde and Alliance. Darien then tells you that the Akaris, which is the stronghold of the Ebonblade, has now moved over to Icecrown Citadel, and Darien will take you there by way of a death gate. Once you walk through the gate, Darien tells you that before Sylvanas' minions abducted key leaders of both the Horde and the Alliance, she took control of the Helm of Domination, and she split it into two. The sky shows the results of her shattering the helm, but at the same time, it freed Bolvar Fordragon from the burden of being the Lich King, and he thinks he knows where Sylvanas has taken her new prisoners, that being Thrall, Bane, Jaina, and Anduin. So now you make your way to the Frozen Throne to hear what he has to say. Once you arrive, you see other leaders of the Horde and the Alliance, waiting to hear him out. When speaking with Bolvar, he tells you that when Sylvanas shattered the helm, she was touched by the power that it released, and Bolvar knows where she went. He mentions that if you wish to rescue your leaders, then the shattered helm can open a rift into the Maw, but you'll have to find your own way back. So now you take certain pieces of the helm and place them around the circle of runes in order to begin the ritual. While placing the pieces, Bolvar says that when the helm was placed on his head, he could sense a dark presence. It wasn't Arthas or Ner'zhul, but rather something lurking beyond the shattered sky above. He says that where you're going, you may be outmatched, and because of that, the Knights of the Ebonblade will help you out, led by Darien Mograine. Once you place the fourth piece of the helm on the rune, you complete the ritual in the middle, and as the rift opens, you're given encouragement by various leaders. Tyrande, however, says to rescue the others, and jumps into the rift while claiming Sylvanas as hers to kill. Now, you land in the Maw with the Ebonblade, and Darien Mograine at your side. When you speak with him, he says he's glad that you made it. But there's no sign of Tyrande as of now, and that we should keep an eye out for her. Upon landing in the Maw, Darien says that the chaotic energies of this place scattered the Ebonblade, and we're gonna need their help. So he wants you to rally 10 Knights of the Ebonblade within the Crucible of the Damned. Also, even though the Knights are very strong, they don't stand a chance being spread out the way that they are right now. So he wants you to kill 8 Maw-sworn enemies while you're out gathering the Knights together, so that we don't lose a ton of our forces. Now, you head out, rally the Ebonblade Knights together, and kill the 8 Maw-sworn enemies. While you're out there, you run up to Willona Thorn, who seems a bit out of breath, but tells you that one of the larger enemies named Ruiner Maroth has several of the knights engaged in combat, and he's doing a pretty good job killing off the Ebonblade. So she wants you to get over there and help take him down. Now you head out and engage with Maroth. Once he dies, Darien sends the Ebonblade up ahead, and says to get moving before reinforcements arrive. When you catch up, Darian says that even though we've only been here for a brief moment, our forces have already depleted, and says to take this horn that can be used to call upon the Ebon Blade forces when you need help. He then hands you the Ebon Blade Clarion, which could come in handy in the future. As of now, we've escaped our enemy's notice, and Darian says that we should take the opportunity to scout ahead the nearby area for signs of our allies. The Ebon Blade will hold back, while you and Darian go alone, in order to reduce the risk of drawing attention. So now you head out in the area called Calcus to look for any signs of your allies, and the first one you find has to deal with frost magic. Looks like a certain frost mage that we know has been a bit busy. So Darian says that we should continue on before the trail goes cold. Aha! Okay. Yeah, good one, Blizzard. So now you press on and find the second sign, which happens to be more of Proudmoore's work being done. Moving on though, you find a large creature dead by the hands of Jaina. Then Darian notices something up ahead, and as you run up, you find Jaina tearing up the place. Once she's had her fun, Darian orders the Ebon Blade to advance. Now you run up to Jaina, who's kneeled down next to a wounded thrall. She's grateful that everyone arrived, because she was getting ready to give up. Jaina shows some concern at the little number of Ebon Blade Knights that are left, but says that Thrall is indeed wounded, and that we need to seek shelter at once. She happens to know a place. But before you can escape Calcus, an enemy named Teriash finds you and your group and begins to attack. Now you need to kill 6 Moss-sworn Harbingers in order to get to a safer area. So you head out and help the Ebon Blade kill the Harbingers. Once that's done, Jaina says that we've been overrun and teleports everyone to a safer area, leaving mirror images to buy us some time. When you speak with her, she says that there's a cave not far from here where everyone can seek refuge, located at the Forlorn Respite. You're to escort the group, but be on the lookout for enemy attacks. So as you head out, you're discovered pretty quick by Teriash, which you end up fighting off. As you make your way to the cave, a lot of dialogue ends up happening in between you being ambushed. Basically, Jaina has escaped countless times and has been captured countless times. She also says that she's used this cave that we're going to as a hideout. Now, Darian asks if she's seen Tyrande at all, which she replies that she hasn't. She mentions that she fears for Tyrande because of the whole Night Warrior giving her too much power thing. She's worried that it might be growing beyond her ability to control. That's when Teriash shows up again. Man, this guy does not leave you alone. So you have one last final battle with him. Once he dies, you head into the cave. While making your way in, Jaina explains that she was beginning to lose hope in seeing anyone from Azeroth again. When you speak with her privately, she says that Anduin knew that allies would come to help, and mentions that time loses all meaning in this place. So she has no clue if a week or even longer has passed since she's been in the Maw. But she will tell you what she knows about this place. Jaina says that the Maw was intended for the most foul, irredeemable souls. But Thrall chimes in and says that something has changed, and that even pure, noble souls are being held here as well. One of the tormentors here happens to be Sylvanas Windrunner, but the jailer rules this realm. And we know very little about him. He's been personally tormenting the top leaders of the Horde and Alliance that were captured. Anduin and Bane are still alive. That Jaina knows for sure. And as much as she would like to simply teleport out of here, she can't. She only has the ability to teleport short distances. But Darian mentions that the Ebon Blade have ways to compel the dead to speak, and that maybe, just maybe, if we seize one of them, we can extract its secrets on how to get out of here. Now, Jaina and Thrall need to rest after the last battle, so it looks like you and Darian need to find out what needs to happen. Now you run up to Darian, and he says that if these souls have information, then we'll take it from them by force. And that the Helm of Domination that was shattered by Sylvanas, the fragment that was given to you by Bolvar, still holds the power of domination. And with that, we should be able to take control of the spirits, long enough to find out what they know. So you're to head out and use the Shattered Helm to command 5 Malice Shadows in the Plains of Torment. So you head out and engage with the Malice Shadows. Once they're weak enough, you use the shattered piece of the Helm of Domination on them. After a while, Darian says that it's useless because these spirits are so fragmented, but then notices the giant tormented amalgamation and says that that's the ticket. Darian mentions that he'll call for the Ebon Blade's help in order to weaken it, so that you can use the helm. Now you head over and engage with the amalgamation. Once he's captured via the helm, Darian says that we should bring this thing back to the cave so that we can interrogate it. He says that it will take some time to find out what this thing knows, but with the help of the helm, We really should find out a lot. So you make your way back to the cave, and once you arrive, Darian begins getting the knowledge that he wants out of the amalgamation, while you speak with Jaina. She says that Anduin is being held captive in a place called Tremaculum, and she's tried to free him countless times, but the forces that are keeping him captive are way too strong for her to handle alone. But with you here, that could change everything. So you're to head to Tremaculum and free Anduin. The great thing is, Jaina's staff can be used to teleport everyone back to the cave once Anduin is found. So now you head out and make your way towards Tremaculum in order to free Anduin from his captivity. Once you arrive, Jaina mentions that she saw Anduin being brought to the top of the tower and that we need to find a way up there. That's when you come across a portal and use it to arrive at the top. Once there, you head over the bridge and find Anduin in chains with Sylvanas standing over him. You lie low and listen in to find out what she's after, but you really don't find out much. Only that Sylvanas says that they'll find what they're seeking in another. Then she vanishes. After that, you run up to Anduin, and Thrall quickly realizes that these chains are way too strong to break by force. Looks like you'll have to find another way. Anduin says that his imprisonment here has been overseen by a creature named Fail the Afflictor, and that the key to freeing Anduin is most likely in this creature's possession. Now, during Anduin's time here, he's seen many souls brought to this location, and the jailer seems to want to twist them into his service. Anduin says that no soul deserves that fate, so he wants you to kill the Mossworn in the area, looting their keys, in order to free 15 of the shackled souls in Tremaculum. So now you head out, kill the Mossworn for their keys, thus freeing the 15 shackled souls. Then you head up to a platform, and once you arrive, you engage with Fail the Afflictor. Once he's done and you have the main key, you head back to the top of the tower and begin to remove Anduin's chains. Now that he's freed, he tells you to lead on. Jaina says that she can open a portal to her staff, which will take you back to the cave. Once you get there, Anduin heals Thrall's wounds, as everyone heads over to Darian to see what he's found out regarding getting out of here. So you run up to Darian, who says that the amalgamation has something to share. It says that the path to escaping the Maw was sealed long ago, but that it's a waystone located near a cauldron. Jaina mentions that this cauldron lies beyond the River of Souls, and that Bane is being held captive over there. Now Darian says that he's happy to return the shattered piece of the Helm of Domination back over to you, because he doesn't care for the power that it still has, and says to let the Ebon Blade know when you find the waystone, as they'll stay here for now. Jaina says that our next step is clear, and that we must travel to Zoval's Cauldron, which lies across the River of Souls. Hopefully you'll be able to find Bane along the way. As you head out, Thrall seems concerned for Tyrande, and Jaina says that if there's a way out of the Maw, then there must be a way back in, and we'll come back for her once we find that out. From here, you attempt to cross the bridge, but are interrupted by our good old friend Helia, who pushes everyone into the River of Souls. After you make your way through this place, you arrive in Detrathos, and see the jailer holding Bane over the edge of a tower. He says that he finds Bane unworthy, and drops him on the spot. Everyone rushes over to see if he's okay. Immediately, Anduin begins to tend to his wounds, while you speak with Thrall. He says that Bane's flesh is mending, but his spirit is closer to death, and that he's seen this kind of magic among the Shadowmoon clan before. The only cure to the Shadowmoon's curse was to find what they used to poison the spirit. Thrall says that the sorcerers of this realm wield ornamental daggers. If we find the one that was used to mess Bane up, then we might be able to save him. You can find the dagger off of a Mossworn soul render here in Detrathos. Also, Thrall admits that yeeting his axe into Helia wasn't such a good idea, so be on the lookout for a suitable weapon for Thrall while you're looking for the dagger. From here, you head out, and 5 times over you deal with a picky Thrall who finds a new axe. He says that it lacks the balance of a good Frostwolf axe, but this will have to do. Then you kill a lot of Mossworn soul renders to find the dagger. Once you find it, Thrall says that it will take the combined skill of all of us to sever the dagger's link to Bane. Jaina, Anduin, and Thrall will do their part to keep him grounded, so it'll be up to you to deal with whatever is freed from Bane's soul. So now you head back to the group, and once you arrive, Thrall breaks the dagger, releasing a withering presence from Bane. After you defeat it, Bane seems to be a bit better, and thanks you for saving his life. Jaina says that we need to get going, and that the Waystone overlooks the cauldron, which would put it somewhere up on the ridge on the other side. The bad part is, The area is swarming with enemy forces, so Jaina will shield everyone from sight, but we'll have to stick together. From here, you rally on Jaina and move through the Jailer's forces. Anduin mentions that the dead, not only from Azeroth and Draenor, but worlds beyond imagination, are all sent to this place, while Bane comments that the Jailer's army rivals that of the Legion, and that it's getting bigger. You then arrive at the Waystone, and it begins to respond to your presence. Anduin says that he's seen markings which are on the Waystone before, when he was studying Titan artifacts, but this appears to be made by a different hand, and says that maybe you'll have a better chance of activating it, since it's really only reacting to you. Once you mess around with the Waystone, it begins charging, as the Jailer's forces arrive to stop you. You then fight off as many as you can, and once the Waystone is ready, the Jailer shows up. Jaina tells you to activate the Waystone, while they hold off the army. As Anduin uses the light to shield you from the Jailer's chains, you activate the Waystone, enabling you to escape the Maw. And that is the quest lore pertaining to the Maw opening sequence. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. Blizzard has come a long way in streamlining their storytelling, and this one nailed it on the spot. So next week we'll continue with the next chapter, which is the arrival in the Shadowlands. And then we'll just go chapter by chapter by chapter. So again, if this is your kind of content, then go ahead and make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button to spark that YouTube algorithm. And a huge shout out to the Patreon members for supporting this channel. Every donation helps in the production costs of going into making these episodes. If you'd like to help out with the channel, then go ahead and check out the Patreon link down below. And with that, we'll see you next week when we find out what's going on in the Tales of Azeroth.